Radio Bypass, bringing you rock and roll music that deserves to be heard. Discover new bands. Here's some old favorites on Radio Bypass.
Hey, Radio Bypass. Today we are having a chat with a musician that you may have first come to know as the bass player for Great White. He currently is the bass player or guitar player in Jack Russell's Great White. And he also has a solo band that we're going to learn all about today, Shadow and the Thrill. Shadow and the Thrill have recently released a brand new single. And here to tell us all about it is Tony Cardenas-Montana. Thanks for coming by Radio Bypass, Tony.
My pleasure.
Great to have you. So, Tony, I got to talk about the new single right away because it has stuck in my head.
Good.
Ever since I first heard it. I played it on we do a music show on Saturdays once a week. I played it on the music show, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So it's been stuck in my head for at least 2 weeks now.
Nice.
For two reasons, I think, mainly the chorus, the way it sounds and the way you sing it sticks with me. And then, of course, the opening guitar riff. It's a great way to start the song as well.
Right on, right on.
And so for me, knowing you primarily as a bassist in Great White back in the 80s when I first became aware of you, I had no idea you got such a great set of pipes sitting inside of you.
Oh, man. Well, thanks. Yeah, we just, it's funny, every band I was in prior to Great White, almost every band as a young kid, I just want to play. I just want to play guitar. It's what I've always liked to do, guitar or whatever. And as soon as you open your mouth, you're like, oh, you should be the singer of the band. I was like, oh man, I don't want to do that. It's too much work. That's too much responsibility. But anyways, yeah, just let it rip, man. Just get in the studio and let it rip. And sometimes good stuff comes out.
Gotcha. Well, it did, obviously in this case, but we got to get a little bit of a backstory here now on Shadow and the Thrill. So
sure.
If somebody's new to Shadow and the Thrill, as I was a couple of weeks back, it's kind of a solo project, kind of a band. Tell us about the origin and why Shadow and the Thrill.
Well, I was working. I jumped back on the music, the road with Jack back in 2013. So I was working with Jack, playing bass actually at first, and then I ended up playing guitar and keys and stuff. And so, working, doing a bunch of shows and just kind of grinding it out, that weekend warrior thing. And then it came time for Jack to actually make a record. And I just, the record didn't go. I didn't feel I got to participate enough in it. And I was like, wow, I've got all these songs laying around, and I was really pumped to do the album, and it just didn't come out where I was really involved. So I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to make these on my own. And I thought of who I'd like to do it with. And this old friend of mine, Brent Arsemet, who's just a killer drummer, came about and, in my mind. And I was like, yeah, I want to work with Brent and I want to get these songs done. Where's Brent? And Brent was in New Orleans. So got on a plane and started bouncing back and forth to New Orleans. And that's how we started Shadow and the Thrill. Really, that was the impetus of it. And
when did that band start, or when you guys start together?
We started working in like 2017, and started recording right around then, or 2016 even. And the album didn't really come out until 2020.
Right.
But we worked on it, and just I love New Orleans. It felt perfect, for this kind of music, or for what's on that album being Sugar Bowl, the first album. So it just worked out. And the name of the band kind of was was suggested by my old manager, a guy named Pete Merluzzi, And he's an old radio serial guy. Like he likes all the old radio shows and stuff.
Right.
So there was The Shadow, which is an old radio show. He liked that, and The Thrill is just our nod to BB King. You know, The Thrill's gone. So that was it. That's how we decided the name, and then we just went forward and cranked out that album with Brent and Jack Mealy down there in New Orleans. And then we had Sylvia Massey mix that album. She's amazing. She's I've had a long-standing relationship with her, and she's just incredible. You know, it's Grammy winner and all kinds of stuff. So
Right.
that's a great album. It turned out great, and you know, like it's, you know, we supported it as best we could during the pandemic. And then you know, now it's time to do something else.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're doing more, because I was telling you that somehow I missed that record, and now I have listened to that record segments, and I'm going to definitely give it a full listen, probably this evening. And I love what I'm hearing. So everybody needs to hear that. So we're definitely, at the end of this interview, we're definitely going to go with a song from that album. But
Sweet.
But the new single, Bleeding Out, is that a precursor to a perhaps working our way toward another a follow-up album to
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We've decided to just kind of do single by single these days. It seems to work better that way. And we've got 10 lined up, and we're incrementally, finishing them as we go. And we're just really excited to just start, letting them out one at a time, and just keep a pretty consistent release schedule, maybe like every 2 months. And at the end of it all, hopefully we'll get the 10, and we'll do vinyl again, as we did with Sugar Bowl.
Nice.
Which is just, man, I didn't realize until I finally got a turntable and listened to my own album. It's like, wow, heard stuff that I forgot I'd done. It's such a great format still.
It is. It's so much joy. I mean, I don't buy everything on vinyl, but because it kind of aggravates me that vinyl is so expensive. Hopefully it'll come down though, since it's coming back a bit. But when I do buy a new vinyl record, I'm always impressed with this 180 gram stuff now compared to some of my old albums in my collection. They just seem to play better. They have a richer sound. And I'm just happy that I never got rid of my turntable. When CDs came in, I saved up a bunch of money, and I bought a ridiculously expensive turntable because I was afraid that there wouldn't be one. I needed one to last me the rest of my life, is my thought.
Wow.
At the time.
Wow.
So I've never stopped listening to vinyl. Haven't bought a whole lot of vinyl, although I did recently get this Cactus record on vinyl.
Right.
Out, and it's really cool the way they're doing the colors now and the splatter, and
sure,
it's pretty neat. So yeah, it's fun having records again. But the biggest revelation always is when, like, I did go for a pretty long period where my turntable never spun anything because I was too lazy. So I was popping in CDs, and you kind of think, yeah, this sounds good. But boy, when you go back and listen to a record, you just can't beat the tone of a record. You just can't.
It was a revelation for me. I'd gotten from the label Deco, who put out Sugar Bowl for us. They sent me test pressings, for the vinyl, and yeah, we did a splatter vinyl. It's so cool. It's so cool looking. I just got it. I was like, wow, this is awesome. I can't listen to it, but it's awesome. And finally, my girl decided to get me a turntable, and I was like, okay, let's check this out. It's something else, man. Like I said, I heard things that I'd forgotten that were part of the track. This digital, the digital conversion of a lot of this stuff you just lose a lot of fidelity, really.
Usually on the ends, it all gets kind of compacted into the middle,
Right. Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I agree with you. Well, I'm glad you're back into vinyl.
I am. Now I'm going out and collecting some of my, the albums that were important to me, and
Right.
putting those on.
You'll have a copy of Twice Shy, since that was probably a big one for you.
I need that actually. I haven't gotten that. I've seen some great re-releases of that too. Like I think there's a Capitol did a red vinyl of it, which is really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, I don't have that. I only have the original, but
There you
I
go.
do remember that though. Yes.
There you go.
So that's awesome. Well, anyway, so all right. So Bleeding Out, tell us about that song because I'm curious why you chose Bleeding Out. Like I listened to the lyrics, I'm kind of I like everything. I like the music and I like lyrics. So what were you thinking about writing that song?
Yeah, it's an interesting it's an interesting look at relationships, and I don't want to like give away too much of where it came from in from my head, because I like for folks to be able to kind of interpret it themselves, right?
Yes.
But I think in general it's a little bit about maybe feeling like there's some missed opportunities, or FOMO, fear of missing out kind of thing.
Right, right.
That's figures into it a little bit, but I don't, again, I like it. I want folks to be able to listen to it and kind of, let it seep in, and whatever it means to them, however it interprets for them that's good. And that's how I tried to write it, to a degree where it's adaptable, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make it too personal. So,
Yeah.
but it's the angriest. It's going to be the angriest song of the 10. So I'll just put it that way.
Well, it's funny that you think that way because I'm the same way. I never watch videos from any bands before I've listened to just the audio because
Great point.
I want the image of what perhaps story they're trying to tell or whatever. I always want to, what does this song mean to me first? How does it hit my heart and soul?
Sure.
And what does that song mean to me before I watch anyone else's interpretation of what that song represents?
Right.
And I've done that my whole life, and I continue to do that, even though sometimes I'll see a video for a song and I'm like, that's actually a really cool concept. That's not how the song hit me, just hearing it only audio, but that's actually pretty cool. So that gave me two ways to appreciate the song. But I have to know what it means to me first,
Yeah. The only I did take a little bit of liberty when it came to doing the video for it. I didn't know really how to represent what the lyrics really meant, and I thought, well, the reoccurring line is, my life and whatever, right? This circle back kind of thing. I thought,
right?
I'm just gonna throw out a bunch of I'm gonna make it chronological from when I just started playing music, and all the little bands, and then bigger bands, and Great White, and then all my other projects since then, and so that's what we did. That's the kind of a literal interpretation of it. Like, this is my life, at least my life in music, right, so far. So
Right. Yeah. And speaking of your life in music and that, my understanding too is so you had done the Hooked record with Great White. I think you started maybe recording the follow up to that, but then somewhere right in there, 91, 92, that's when you left that Great White.
yeah.
And then my understanding is you had a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit that you fired up a company of your own at some point between then and
Yeah,
recent days.
several. Yeah. And as it goes with that kind of thing and entrepreneurial endeavors, a lot of failures and a lot of struggle. But that's the first thing I did. I started a company right when I got out of that band, and I just, I was gonna, computers are another computers, software, web, e-commerce, all that stuff is, I'm a bit of a nerd in that regard too, and that's another passion of mine. And so I just dove in and started developing, products, software, you know, my vision for certain kinds of media or whatever. And eventually I ended up with a company in the 2000s called Disc Factory, and that was just, you know, over an overbearing, you know, burden right at that time.
Maybe
Not a
time
whole lot of music
else.
happening,
Right.
you know, but I did after a while. I really missed playing. So around 2004, 2005, I started to write again, and met some guys in Orange County and here in California, and just started a no name band, no Tony from Great White, none of that stuff. Just we're some dudes, here's some songs, and can we play at your club at Wednesday at midnight? And that's where we started, you know.
That's
So
awesome.
that's where, yeah. And you know, it just progressed and progressed, and before you know it, you know, I was really getting busy again, which was nice.
That is, yeah. Now, do you still have Disc Factory, or did you sell that?
No, no, I was, yeah, that company got sold in years and years and years ago. I had left before that all even happened. I decided that I wanted to start another endeavor, and that was Monster Circus, which was a full high production Vegas show that we did at the Hilton for a
Kind of like
little while there, which
or
precedes Raiding the Rock Vault and all the other shows that kind of came after that. But yeah, we had quite a thing going on there for a while, and then you know, got a little some legal troubles with some folks, and then you know, they had to move on from that as well. But they love me.
Gotcha. Well, it's pretty interesting. The career that you've had both in and out of music, it sounds like to me. And now, of course, with Shadow and the Thrill, just the two of you. So you're, you know, the bass player and the guitar player and the lead singer and all that, studio wise. And then I assume you've got, when you're ready to start doing some live dates, you probably have some other guys that would be part of your live band as well.
Yeah, I've been so fortunate that, you know, a couple of my friends from Jack Russell's Great White have you know, stepped up if I needed them, like Dickie Fleazar, who actually played drums on Bleeding Out. Did a great job. Dan McNay has been out playing bass with me, and then some of my Orange County band members from my old band here called Anna's Brother, Chuck Cummings, Steve Allen, and Bax Baca, who's been a real like a writing and producing partner for a lot of years now. So yeah, whoever's available, you know, wherever the show is, we'll go out and knock it out, you know.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully you'll get a chance to go knock some out soon.
Yes, I want to come up north, like I said, so for sure.
Yeah, love to see you live. So let's see, what else should we know? We should, for Shadow and the Thrill, you do have a website. Is it shadowandthethrill.com?
Yeah, you can go there, or shadowandthethrillonline.com. There's, you know, the most convenient place I would say is probably the Facebook, you know, Shadow and the Thrill, Facebook, Instagram, definitely the YouTube channel, which has a bunch of the videos from what we've done. And some of the videos are on our Facebook page as well. But yeah, I would say the YouTube page is probably one of the better sources. And yeah, we're just you know, trying to stay busy, and you know, keeping up with all the social media stuff will definitely keep you busy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I'm very bad at with the RadioBypass Facebook page. I just can't seem to keep up and do enough content like you need these days. It's a whole different world for sure with that. And I appreciate all you guys that follow us on Facebook. I'm going to get better, I promise. I just need more time in my day, and I'll start posting more things. Like I think today, when we part company, I'm going to post a link to your video.
Sweet.
I haven't seen it yet.
Please do.
Watch you.
Let me know, and I'll share it as well.
Okay, I did watch though last night. I think I was on your website probably, or maybe I was on YouTube. But I watched you doing a cover of "Do It Again."
Oh, right on. Yeah.
That was really cool. Was that a COVID thing? I didn't look at the date when it was posted.
Yeah, no, maybe it was a little after, but yeah, my old manager, Alan Niven, who's back from the Great White days and from you know, he's made I've maintained a friendship with him over the years, and he just said, I want you to every, so often grab an acoustic guitar and just do 1 minute of a great song that you love. And I've always loved that track. It's just like
That was their best album, in my opinion.
oh man. It and I'm learning so much more about that band over the years, and now I'm getting to go back and really hear the stories of their studio stories and how they produced all this. I mean, it's just amazing. And all the guys that played on it are just all of them are just genius players.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that was cool. I enjoyed that. I hadn't listened to that song. I haven't listened to the Can't Buy a Thrill album in a long time. And I hadn't heard that song in a long time either, because I don't listen to a lot of classic rock, too often, once in a while. Usually when I'm putting records on to listen to, or even I kind of gave up on radio to some degree, because I don't need to hear Stairway to Heaven, again, really.
Right.
Love it, but I don't really need to hear it again. So
right.
I tend to listen to a lot of new stuff, so I don't go back too often, but every so often I'll go back to something. But that album I haven't gone back to in quite a while, so it was kind of fun to hear that again, and made me remember how much I did like Can't Buy a Thrill.
It's a great song, killer vocal, man. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and you with your singing voice, like I say, I was so surprised not knowing that you had that set of pipes in you. Who were some of your influences as a vocalist?
I would say as a young guy, as a kid, probably I'd loved all, mostly metal music. So I would listen to Ronnie Dio, probably Ronnie Dio mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But gosh, as a really young kid, I was just listening to the AM radio just like everybody else, and listening to Stevie Wonder and cats like that, and that kind of pop music, which is all just genius too. So
Right.
yeah, I guess it's kind of a mix between metal and all that old school pop and R&B pop. That's kind of I'm finding myself gravitating towards those things these days too.
Gotcha. Because vocally, the tone of your voice, I'm getting like a Paul Rogers type vibe out of it.
Wow, wow. You'd only pray to have that, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, but that's kind of what I heard, or what it felt like to me. A little bit of that, a little bit of those kind of guys, a little more gravelly, just a little bit.
Sure.
So much that, I mean, not that Ronnie couldn't do everything, because he did, but I wasn't thinking necessarily like Rob Halford or Bruce Dickinson type vocal for you, or Ian Gillan. I was thinking more maybe Stevie Marriott, guys.
Ooh,
like
there you go, Steve Marriott. Yes, for sure, man. Wow.
yeah. But yeah, I love
all
it.
badasses, right? Good grief.
Oh yeah.
Paul Rogers is still like a force of nature. He's amazing.
I'm so sad that I read he had put out that, because he had some surgeries and stuff, in the last few years, and this last record that he just did last year, is probably, he's saying, probably going to be the last one, and it's just makes me sad, because he still was just sounding killer on this last record.
Yeah, I've seen some recent YouTube videos of them playing live, and it's just stunning. Gives you hope, that you can keep carrying on, and even as you get a little bit older, to still produce vocally, as long as you take good care of yourself.
Right.
And I try.
Yep. And of course, always a cup of throat coat might help.
There you go.
And then before we part, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, because I get asked about your singer from one of your other bands quite a bit, Mr. Jack Russell.
Yeah.
I get asked, because I should have seen it coming. It's been a few years now, and so I keep getting people inquiring, hey, do you know if there's going to be another record? another studio record. Anything in the fire there?
There's been some writing sessions and stuff like that, and it's a possibility. He's definitely slowed down quite a bit, and but there's still some shows on the books, and maybe we can get him down here to work out some songs. So I'd say there's a decent chance. There's a decent chance.
Yeah,
I know that there's a couple songs that I worked on with him that I thought this is definitely worthwhile. So hopefully we'll get in there and do it again. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would. I think his fans would really appreciate that, even if he does just a single.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
because I do get asked about him a lot. Anytime I've played Great White or something from Should Have Seen It Coming, I'll get a couple emails. Hey, do you know? You seem to know everybody. Do you know if there's going to be any new record? And I always write back, well, I don't really have an inside track there. I don't know, but always keep hope. Yeah, that's what I always say. But you can tell him his fans want a new record. So
yeah. The first single was the only song I was involved with, really. And I thought that turned out really, really good too. So Sign of the Times, the great track.
That was a great. That's my favorite one from the record. I didn't remember the writing credits. That's one of yours.
Yeah.
That was my numero uno.
Yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right, and it'll be a fond memory for me going forward. If we part ways, you know what I mean, or whatever.
Right.
So.
Well, hopefully you won't. But let's hope that Shadow and the Thrill keeps you so busy that you'll be just singing for them all the time.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right. So, Tony, is there anything else we should know about Shadow and the Thrill?
Well, just that, to go out and hopefully check out the YouTube channel and subscribe. That's always helpful for us. And then, the single Bleeding Out's out on all of the other, formats, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify. So check it out there, and just keep an eye out for us to play. And we play mostly California, Southwest, but I'm hoping we'll be able to go out beyond that pretty soon.
Good. Well, I hope that for you as well. All right. So everybody, Tony Cardenas-Montana joining us.
Thanks, man.
Shadow and the Thrill. And we're going to thrill you now with some of their music. We're going to play Bleeding Out first, because that's the current thing. But because I just recently got to hear the Sugar Bowl album, after Bleeding Out, I'd like to feature a song from that. What would you pick from that record?
Well, my favorite track is I like Sugar Bowl a lot, and I really I like our cover of Gnarls Barkley's Crazy. We approached it quite a bit differently than the original. Yeah, actually, I put it in a blues shuffle, and it's been that's been kind of our hit on the album. Really, like, people seem to really gravitate towards that one. So I'd say play that one. Play Crazy.
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. All right. Again, Tony Cardenas-Montana, thank you for being on Radio Bypass. And everybody, don't leave. Crank it up, turn it up just a little louder, because here comes Shadow and the Thrill's latest single, Bleeding Out, and then we'll follow that up with Crazy from their first album, that if you also were like me and hadn't heard it yet, go listen, buy it. You're going to love it. Thanks again, Tony.
Thank you, man.
Why do you lie to me, baby? Yeah. Now you know it was not all my fault. I take it in me. You're bringing me down. You know you are bringing me down. My life, I see it bleeding out in front of me. I was already gone. Broke my heart just for you. You don't know what I'm going through. I was already gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When it's time to go, you know when love ain't winning. My life, I see bleeding out in front of me. I was already gone. Broke my heart just for you. You don't know what I'm going through. I was already gone. I was already when I lost my mind. Something so pleasant about that place. Emotions have an echo and so much space. When you're out there without a care, well, I was out of touch. Wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. Probably. Just think twice. That's my only advice. Oh, yeah. Come on now. Who do you think that you are? Oh, my Lord, bless my soul. You really think you're in control? Think you are? I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. since I was little. Well, it looked like fun.